Hey everyone, it's Mary. Welcome back to the channel. Let's bring a little bit of fall into our lives. I don't know who else shares in the love of fall, but let me tell you a little something. I have not had a fall in 7 years, and I am from Pennsylvania, and I am so excited that I am back in the fall. So that excitement coupled with Hero Art's September card kit, it was a no-brainer. Let's make some fall cards. So I'm going to do 5 cards for this video. The first one, I just took some of those watercolors that came with the kit and slapped it down on some watercolor paper, very easy. And then some Perfect Pearls right there, I just misted onto it, and that was gold. You can use this with regular Perfect Pearls if you have the powder, just mix a little bit with water and spritz it on there. So very, very simple. The background, I wanted to keep it nice and soft. The reason for that is because the pop of color on the front of the card is really going to stand out, and that was the point of why I wanted to do that. Okay, so up here now I'm going to add a sentiment, and I decided to take out some of those Post-it leaves, I guess they are. They're so cute and so thin, but they are like Post-it tape. So you're going to have to, I would think, I did, add a little bit of a stronger adhesive to it. So that's what I'm doing right here. And I'm just going to put some very, very thin 1/8 inch score tape right on the bottom there and press it down, and it doesn't really show through at all. And so once I get all my leaves layered, I like that look, I'm going to go to, I use this technique a lot in this video, and I don't even think I intended to do that, but the flicking technique on the round the edges, and I think that is really good for fall cards because it does, fall is kind of like sort of, I don't want to say grungy, but you know what I mean, sort of distressed looking, and so that adds to it. Now the final touch for this card is going to be some gold Nouveau drops, and I will call it done. This one was very easy, very simple to do, but I think it packs a little bit of a punch there. Those leaves that they gave us with the kit were just beautiful. All right, so moving on to card number 2. Here's another panel that I did with the watercolors, and here I'm showing you the Daniel Smith. It's the first time I used all of the watercolor in the little sheets that they give you. I really dried it up. I mean, it was a done deal. So I'm just going to splatter some of the brown and some of that maroonish color all over it. Not too much of a pop of what I'm doing here, but just enough to add a little bit of interest. Here are the colors I'm going to be using for my Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers. And I put the colors up there so you can see the brightness, the vibrancy of this mix. So I really like that. Once I get the full color of the markers down, I do go over it with a clear water brush, and that's just to blend them one final way. And it really does kind of just soften it and smooth it out. And so there you can see, I didn't show you the whole coloring, but those are the colors that I repeated. Then I'm going to use the die, and I'm going to cut that out, and this is going to be my pop of color. I did add some Spectrum Noir Sparkle Pen on top of it so that it will really shine. And then, of course, I'm going to add some to the bottom of this vase as well. Okay, so here I am going to use my X-Acto knife, and I'm going to cut a little slit at the very top of that so that the flower could go through it, or the leaves could go through it. I did not like the look of it behind, and I didn't like the look of it over it, so this was just absolutely perfect for me. So I get that through there, and now we're going to work on our sentiment for this panel. Now, as you notice, I did cut this down with the large oval that we get with the kit, and then I'm going to stamp on top "You Bring Color to My World" in some gold embossing powder. So I am going to heat set that. Let me see. Hindsight, I would say this gold maybe didn't stand out enough. So I think I probably maybe would have done another layer of it, but that's kind of hard to do because it's oval with the misty. Really, was kind of nervous about how to set it back in there. So I just went with it, and then I did that flicking technique around again, this time using some shimmer spray. I'm going to make this really sparkly. So here we go. I'm going to add with some Nouveau glue on the back, and I am going to put something heavy on that because it's kind of warped. Once that is dry, ready to go, I'm going to pop up with some foam tape the flower and the vase. And that is where I wanted the pop of color to come from. And so that is the finished card right here. I really like the way this one came out. Very impressed. I love my Real Brush markers, whether it's Arteza or Zig. They just bring so much joy when I'm coloring. Okay, so now I'm going to take that oval die that looks like leaves, and I'm going to cut it out, and then I'm going to use the oval of the outside of it and cut that out as well. And the same exact colors that I used for the card we just did for the zigs is what I'm going to use to color this entire panel. And I'm going to start from the outside again, just as I was coloring those flowers. The purple is on the outside, then the red, then the orange. And those colors, again, I listed them in the beginning, but they're not exactly like, I think the orangey color is scarlet red, which comes out pretty orange. So, but those are all the colors I use. So once I get those down, now when you're doing this, be careful, because if I got that yellow into the purple too much, it would cross-contaminate the color. So you want to wipe it off on the side if you really want to keep the color true. And once I get that done, I'm going to take a Spectrum Noir sparkle pen, and that's going to go over the entire oval shape. And the reason I'm going to do that, obviously, is for sparkle, but it also is like water, so it's blending those colors really well together. And you can see me scratch off to the side there a few times, and that's because I didn't want to cross-contaminate. All right, so we get that all colored up. There's a close-up of it. I love the way this came out. It's so bright. I thought about putting that. I kind of had trouble with this card. I'm going to be honest with you. This kit, I had a little trouble with at first when I sat down. I think it's because of a lot of small stamps, like stamped images. I get a little overwhelmed. Does anyone else feel that way? I don't know where to begin. I kind of feel like, where do I start? So I was having a little bit of trouble with this kit. So I just decided to just stop overthinking it and just play. And that's where some of these came out. Now, let me talk to you about this foam mounting tape. Dollar Tree. Not kidding. I'm sorry for my international folks, but Dollar Tree has this. And it's a lot of foam tape, and it's sticky. It works really well, so I say thumbs up to the Dollar Tree for their foam tape. Okay, so I'm going to use that to pop up my little acorns there, and then I tried to make this a little bit more of a masculine card. So that was the finished product. I didn't put too much glitz or glam into it, just Happy Autumn, and that's it. All right, so moving on to our next card, we have these Tattered Angels Spritz. I got these steal of a deal at Tuesday morning, and so I decided to play with them. So I'm going to cover this watercolor panel just completely with these different colors. And it's more of like a maroony, an orange, and like a soft pale pink. And so I get that, and I'm like, what am I going to do with this? Because it looks kind of a hot mess. So then I decided to pull out my Judikins Sparkle Embossing Powder, and I'm just going to cover it because it's completely wet. So I thought, well, if I cover this and then I heat set it, I'll get a glittery background. And it did work. It actually did work. I heat set it off camera, though, because I was having a little bit of trouble with the way I was holding it. But it did warp quite a bit, so just keep that in mind. So there it is. There's my glittery, funky-looking, pinkish panel. All right, but I decided to take that cool dye that we got, and I'm going to cut that out of this card. Okay, so once I get that cut, I am going to have to figure out what I'm going to do with this. Now, I wish you guys can all craft with me, like, as I'm doing it, because I literally have no clue what I'm doing when I'm doing it, like, what's going to be the next step. I just kind of, I don't even know. I don't know if, are you guys planners, or are you guys go with the flowers? I don't know. So, all right, I am going to stamp this here, and I'm going to heat set this. This is going to say thankful. And then I decided to, because the front was so glittery and so bang in your face, that I wanted the background to be a lot more relaxed and subtle, because I didn't want it to be too busy. So I'm just going to take some fossilized amber and some barn door, I want to say it is, or fired brick. And I'm just going to do some blending on the background there, highlighting the thankful. And then I'm going to take some Nuvo glue and place that on the back of it. And then final touch here, very simple card again, is just going to be some of this glossy stuff I believe I got in a kit a while back. Just like glossy accents or Nuvo, I wouldn't say Nuvo glaze, but like a Nuvo drop. That's the concept. And that picks up, it's clear, so it picks up the color from underneath. And that card is finished as well. Okay, so let's move on to our final card here. This one's a lot of fun. This is going to be a shaker card. So I'm going to pat down my Bristol Smooth cardstock here with my anti-static powder tool. And then I'm going to take the, looks like a maple leaf, and I'm going to place that all over my paper. Now, this is the only time that it was a benefit that my maple leaf was not completely clean, because I had stamped it out in Versamark VersaFine Onyx Black ink prior to, and it was still a little dirty because I guess I didn't do a good enough job cleaning it, and I was okay with that. Why? Because I could see what the heck I was doing. So then I decided to put some white embossing powder over it. Now, if you're using clear embossing powder, that might not work so well because you're probably going to see your dirty stamp image, but white is great. So I get that heat set, and then I'm going to play with these Distress Oxide colors here. And I am going to make a fall background. So watch when just the first time, I slap it down and then I pick it up. Look how pretty it is. Those colors mix so well. It just really, I'm just so excited about it. Okay, so then I start, now I'm not going to show you the entire process, but I just go back and forth. I dry it, then I get a little bit more color, and I just want the entire thing to be covered and, you know, ready to go. So it's good to go, and now I'm just going to pick up the rest of that ink because I don't want to waste it, and it's actually going to fall into place in this very same card here. I didn't think it was going to, but I use it right away. So I'm going to use that cool dye again, and then I'm going to kind of line up everything. See that the card that picked up the extra ink, that panel is going to be underneath. But I said, let's make a shaker card. Oh, so fun. So I put some 1/8 score tape around this panel here, and then I'm placing down some acetate, and I leave it there just so that I can see where I want my thankful word. But then, of course, I'm going to remove it so I can actually stamp on the back because I already put the acetate on there. Okay, so I get it down. It's ready to go. I'm going to stamp it out here with some ground espresso of the Distress Oxides, which are great to stamp as well. And I'm going to take an anti-static powder tool, just rub it around there, and then just fill this bad boy with a whole bunch of stuff. So pull out any fall colors, things you have, and throw them in there, and you're going to have yourself a party. So I pulled off my backing very, very carefully, and then I'm going to just carefully align my sheet right here so it the thankful's not in the way of anything else. Okay, so we get that laid down. Of course, it's sticky, it's good to go, and there is our thankful card. Now, for this card, off camera, I thought it was missing something. So I decided to take some of that beautiful ribbon that they gave us with the kit and tie a double bow wrapped around. I'll show you here. This is a close-up. There's a little bit of anti-static powder tool around. I have to get that off. But because I used a glue dot right behind it. So there's the finished card. You can see that beautiful bow hanging out. I thought it added something so much to it. Thank you so much for stopping by for this Hero Art September card kit. I hope you guys had a lot of fun. I hope you're in the fall mood. Comment below. What card did you like the best? What's your favorite season? What are you looking forward to these next few months? Anything you want, just comment below. I love to chat with you all. And don't forget to hit subscribe so you don't miss anything from me. I will link everything I used below, and don't forget to find me on other forums such as Facebook and Instagram. And until next time, I hope you all have a wonderful week. We'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.